stand together. What time is it? 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 What time is it?
Yo, what's going on, good people? It is your boy DJ Danny Ocean, host of the hottest night show on the planet, the Danny Ocean Show, 101.9 Kiss FM, and the 3NT Wrestling Podcast. And y'all know I don't do this thing alone. I got the bro with me, Matthew Malik Wilson. Matt, what's going on, Brody?
Blessings, brother. You already know what it is. Tired after a long night. Salute to my guy Drizzy Drake. But let's get into it. Got a special guest on here. Oh, I'm excited.
Absolutely. Listen, it's the hottest independent wrestling platform out there right now. If you have not been to an ASE Wrestling show, I don't know what you're waiting for, to be honest with you. You're missing out. We got the owner right now, Darius Lockhart, in here with us. Darius, what's going on, man?
Thank you guys for that great intro. Thank you for having me. I'm just happy to be here, and thank you all for having me on your platform like this. It's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking time to come chop it up with us for a little bit. So I've been to a couple of your shows out there in Charlotte, man. Listen, if you've never been to an ASE Wrestling show, it's probably the most fun that you're going to have at a wrestling show. Shout out to DJ Steel Will on the ones and twos, doing his thing. Big Swole and Chris Leo on commentary. Goldman is usually there performing, hosting, doing his thing. And it's always a good time, man. Good energy. Man, how did you come up with ASE Wrestling, man? What made you bring this thing to the forefront?
No, thank you, man. Thank you for the wise words. But I think it was just an amalgamation of conversations that I was having with other black wrestlers. I was just, we were kind of thinking, a lot of people were retiring a lot of their own accord, their own frustrations of not being understood in the industry. Me and my close group of friends were getting a lot of, I don't understand what this is and how to package it. I'm afraid of it, in some different ways. And so it was kind of like, imagination sitting on the couch, me and Saeed Al-Sabah, sitting there thinking, what would it be like if we just had the handcuffs loose? What would that look like if it was in this format? And, daydreaming turned to, me pitching other guys, and then me taking a sabbatical from wrestling. And when I wanted to come back to wrestling, I thought, I wanted to come back and do it my way. Let's give this a shot, so I'm not blowing hot air for all those years and not reliving up to my name.
Right.
So I decided to just give it a shot and really try to put us at, really kind of make it a celebration of the African diaspora, and where, you don't have to worry about letting everyone down. You can be yourself authentically, and, we're also not putting you in a box in any means.
Right. Absolutely. So for somebody, say they're hearing about ASE Wrestling for the very first time, what would you feel like separates ASE from every other independent wrestling promotion out there?
I feel like we do a lot of good job. We do a really good job of doing a lot of platform and cross promoting. We do a really good blend of entertainment in terms of, when I say celebrating the diaspora, that's also celebrating the music element of the diaspora. That's also celebrating the community aspect of the diaspora. So the things that we like to do are just kind of get more involved. We like to show you kind of not only a mirror when you're watching ASE, where you can look at someone in the ring and go, oh, I got a cousin like that, I got a mama like that, I got family like that. But you can also walk away entertained and learn something else, or just maybe just see a different light of yourself in history, culturally, that you didn't know. Something you want to learn. So you can always walk away with some medicine in the candy at ASE.
Absolutely. Now, so you guys blend the wrestling, and this is what I tell everybody about ASE. It's like, have you ever been to an ASE event? I'm like, it's almost like going to the cookout or family reunion with some wrestling mixed into it. You know what I'm saying? And it's such a vibe. So you guys do a great job of blending in the live music, the fashion, the art, the black culture. How do you go about making those feel like more a part of the show instead of just, added entertainment?
Well, it's all. I'm a lover of entertainment at its core. So I've been an entertainer since I was a little kid, and have been enamored with things from sitcoms to film. And I think that one thing you have to do is understand that a medium is a medium, and that mediums are flexible. They can dance with genres, they can dance with different fonts and colors, right? So wrestling is a medium just like any other medium. So when you put them next to each other, you kind of just have to let them breathe and be just that, and let the color fill in itself, if you understand what I'm trying to say to you.
Absolutely.
It's really just not forcing anything and just letting everything be authentic as possible. At the end of the day, this is still, pro wrestling is still a large part of this product. And what I like to do is be true to pro wrestling. I like to do simple pro wrestling angles, simple things people can attach themselves to. And I think that those themes are ultimately themes of morality, humanity, and that blends across mediums no matter what. So if you're true to the story and you're true to the impact of what you want to say, no matter what medium you're using to color with, you're automatically, being authentic, and I think that shines through the Ashe product.
I agree. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this: what do you feel like the biggest challenge of operating a black-owned independent wrestling company is? Like, do you ever come across a situation where people feel a way about it being, predominantly black?
I mean, people feel a way, but I think they're doing a general misunderstanding of what this is. We don't promote ourselves as all black, just because it's just one of those things where that kind of puts borders on what it can be and who we are to people. People get it. It's interesting what people do. One thing I did was I put a poster up, and I saw a bunch of wrestlers that said ASE Wrestling, and everyone said all black. And it's funny because when there's a bunch of white wrestlers, no one says all white. When it's New Japan, no one says all Japanese. When it's AAA, no one says all Mexican wrestlers. So this has been kind of a Rorschach test from the front, but I've been intentional with the way I presented that, because at the end of the day, it is professional wrestling. At the end of the day, it is still representation on a massive level. I hope people can understand what we're trying to do, and really just kind of create opportunity for those that may not have as much equity in the sport as some of the others have gotten. And that's not to say like we are all black, because once again, our production team, we got white guys on our production team. We got white guys refereeing for us. There's people of all different races in the crowd. Latino, Asian people have been a part of the product. It's very blended. You just have to know where to look, and people, I think their eyes are used to looking at one thing in one way. And I think that if you would open yourself up to the cultural aspect of pro wrestling, there is not a lot of equity in terms of like power for black professional wrestlers in the world. I mentioned AAA and New Japan and places like that. Those are culturally specific places that get to pay homage to their culture. And I don't think there was a place like that that really on a massive level gets to really exist like that for black professional wrestlers. So, it's one of those, don't feel attacked if it applies. If it don't apply, let it fly. It's all love, and everybody's welcome to the 10 Hour Shea Show. It's no intrinsic, no segregation, anything like that. It's just really with intent and love to provide for people who kind of want to boost up in professional wrestling.
Absolutely. So the next event, Saturday, August 1st, Black August, is going down at the Piedmont Open. Was it 1B Middle School out there in Charlotte? IB.
Yeah.
Okay.
The International Baccalaureate. It's something like advanced placement kids, honor students kind of stuff. Yeah.
I got you. And this is like, you've held several events, ASE events out there too, right?
Yeah. This one is actually, this is a while it's been a while since we've been at this venue. This year we've kind of stepped into, bigger venues of Bloom and everything like that. But with this event, Black August specifically, I kind of wanted to kick off August with a bang. If you aren't familiar with Black August, it's kind of a historic holiday that's really intrinsic with liberation and freedom. And there's been a lot of amazing events and a lot of amazing occurrences, both positive and negative, for Black people in the month of August. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to that and bring it back to the community. That's why we lowered ticket prices for this one. Front row everything's basically slashed in half. So I wanted people through the door, pack this place out. I wanted to come back to the community since we're back at Piedmont for this event. And we'll be back at Bloom later on. But for this one, I wanted to feel like home. And when you see the show, you'll understand why.
Okay, I understand that. So yeah, you just talked about Black August being connected to the Black resistance, reflection, you know what I'm saying, the liberation. Is there going to be a specific, was that important for you to give this event that name in particular? Like, what does that name represent, and why was it important to begin, to do this show, this Black August show?
Well, I thought that once again, we were going back to Piedmont. I said, let's make this as communal as possible. Let's make people, come in on lower prices and everything like that. But then I also, like I said earlier, like to put medicine in the candy. So sometimes I don't have to, sometimes I think if I lean too much into a theme, it may be a little too on the nose, too preachy, too whatever. It may throw everything off. But what I do like to do is usher in a bridge for people to understand, like, hey, Black August, what does that mean? What is that? And they can do the research of their own. Okay. Now we're, relating to you on that level, so it gets you through the door. You know what this is going to, kind of be in the spirit of freedom, the spirit of liberation, things like that. I think they personify what ASE can be, especially when you look at the meaning of ASE, it being life energy, life force, creating something new. And to do that, you have to really be free of a lot of things, and free a lot of shackles of the mind. So I thought it was good branding with what we believe in, who we are. There's no really like, I don't expect there to be a match type, a Black August match or anything like that. It's just something I wanted to pay love to and tribute
Right.
to. I saw the month we were running in, and I saw an opportunity to say, hey, by the way, do y'all know what this is? Come see us. That's all it kind of was, some love.
I got you. Malik, what you got? What you got, brother?
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for being on the show, Darius. I got a couple questions for you, man. Not gonna hold you too long. I know you and Danny got a lot to talk about, so I just got a couple questions for you. So I'm reading here. Just I want to get my information correct. I kind of got burnt by this before. You guys had your inaugural historic big event on December 1st, 2023, correct?
Yes.
Am I right about that? Great date. That's my birthday, actually. But tell me about the rise of ASE, because I'm new to you guys, but I've heard your name everywhere. Hey, you need to check out ASE. Hey, you need to check out ASE. So I finally had time to check them out. You guys are really dope. So tell me about that rise when you're starting to hear the people really starting to recognize who you guys are. What was the moment when you realized, yo, we really got something here?
Day one, before you guys saw it. I knew what this was going to be before you guys even saw it. I remember editing the video the week of my birthday to drop and announce it, and I was just like, man, if this goes how I think it's gonna go, or how I hope it's gonna go, like it's gonna be something very special. Especially when you start getting all those yeses on the phone, where people are saying yes to you. Hey, Jonathan Gresham, do you want it? Yes. Hey, Trisha Dora, do you want it? Yes. Hey, Aja Kong, do you want it? Yes. Those are big moments where you're like, man, this is all going to come together, and I get to tell people this is what we have. Wow. So that was already kind of getting so many yeses from so many amazing people. I mean, even D'Lo Brown being a part of Show One, that kind of affirmed me a lot before we even went public with it. So I have to say, very early on.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. And I could tell, I can hear by the way you talk. You have a very creative mindset when it comes, especially with the way you're doing a Black August event. I could tell that you're very thoughtful in how you plan these things out and have a deeper meaning with the shows that you do sometimes.
Appreciate that.
But with that, is there anything that you thought about that you wanted to do that didn't work and you had to adjust?
So much stuff. I mean, I could write a book. I could do a documentary about all the things I planned for ASE. The first, I've kind of had people know all the way up until the next show. I've had this for 2 years now, for years now, since day one before we started. All of this has been kind of in my head, so we've just been getting it out on time. So that through that much planning ahead, there's so many things that fall short. People get hurt, people get injured. The women's championship tournament was supposed to be 16 women. There were some things that slashed it in half. We were supposed to do the first time we were supposed to crown it was supposed to be a women's rumble, 30 woman rumble, and it got slashed in half. I said, okay, we can't do that. There was, a stable we wanted to put together. There's been so many stables, so many storylines that we didn't get to do because so and so not available for these dates, so and so got signed, and it's all love. We're happy to help people get where they want to go, and sometimes it can't be with us all the time. We understand. But there's been a lot of moments. I will say this, the fun fact, we just did a 30-man Rumble match the last show. And we had 5 people cancel between Friday and Saturday to be in that Rumble match. And I had to find 5 replacements up to an hour or 2 before the show started. I was like, wow, people out. So, you never know. It always falls short sometimes. Now at this point, I just take it like it just happens. You tell me bad news, I'm like, okay, how do we fix it?
Right. Okay, so what's the next level for ASE Wrestling now? I know you have benchmarks, right? So where do you feel you're at now, and where do you feel like, all right, this is the next step where ASE Wrestling needs to get to?
In terms of story, we're getting on the close of chapter 1. In terms of mobility, in terms of the branding, how big the business is, we're maybe at phase 3, but I don't know. There might be 12 of those things. I don't really know. I don't really like speaking to the future too much, just because sometimes it helps you out. Someone's like, "Oh, I hear you trying to do this," and I want to throw you a lot. But sometimes the energy. And so I'm just a big believer in that. You don't want to say too much, and then people start "Oh, I didn't think of that," and then they start blocking you to get to it. And I just rather keep the vision close to chest. But just know that we're doing good, and I want to pace ourselves and make sure that it's sustainable, not only for the ecosystem of professional wrestling, but for myself and for my mental health and physical. I still have things I want to accomplish in this life that aren't so attached to Ashe. So I want this to be able to live, and breathe within my life as well. And so, we got a long way to take this thing. And so it's a marathon, not a race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you a question. Past attendance and ticket sales and whatnot, how do you measure that an Ashe event was successful? Like, what is success to you for an Ashe event?
Well, we're in the first 3 years of the company, so we're in the growth period. So,
Right.
your successes often are something not monetary and definitely something not always tangible. Sometimes the success is the trust of the fans. Sometimes the success is, okay, people are talking about us. They see it. They get the vision. Oh, we got this many followers this week. Oh, this person mentioned us. Oh, we made this in March. Sometimes there are different margins for different seasons. Sometimes it is monetary. And all things are good. But really, right now, because I know if you're building a business for any entrepreneur, they know the first 5 years is the hardest. Right here, right now, the wins are where the wins are.
Right.
It's like, hey, these 5 things went wrong, but these 3 things went so good. And I'm just gonna be blessed that we can keep doing it and get to the next show, and that we're not losing anything, and that we're not, going out of business. So we're fine, and I'm happy about that. So to me, a positive is just the wins where you can find them, brother.
Understandable. Completely understandable.
Yeah, honestly, I will say this. This is the super babyface answer, though, but I do mean it. If a smile is on you guys as fans at the end of the fans face at the end of the show, if you all instead we love our show and we can't wait to come back, or we love the show, then it's a win.
I
That's
feel
how
that.
I personally really feel.
1,000%. And that's the same thing as like with DJing. If people are dancing, having a good time, and they say, I can't wait for the next one, my job is done. You
Yeah,
know?
you maybe even if it's like only 50 people show up, if
Right.
all 50 had a
Exactly.
great time,
Exactly.
then you know
That's
what?
how I
It's a
feel
step in
about
the
it.
right direction. Then now let's think about how we can get it to be 100 next time, and that's just what you
Absolutely.
got to do. But it's a win.
Now, let me ask you this: has running your own wrestling organization has it changed the way you look at other opportunities that you've received or didn't receive from like larger promotions? Because I know you've done work with AEW at one point, correct? So yeah, does it you see things differently now as you running your own company?
Yes and no. Like I've always assumed that even when I didn't understand, there was a reason, right? And sometimes it isn't always a personal reason. Sometimes it's a business reason. And I've been in the business long enough to know that not everything is always personal. Some things are, but not
Right.
everything's always personal. And now that I'm in this seat, I really get to know that, why some decisions you have to make will feel personal to some people. And it's just like, hey, it's more of a, oh, I get it on this level now, like where you're not trying to screw me out of whatever. You're just trying to do this because this hand got to feed this hand. Once you have to start serving things, whether that be story, individuals, characters, audience, or even the monetary sponsors, you are stretched a little thinner than you would like to be. And so I'm very empathetic now to a lot of well, even more so. I was always empathetic because I was always assuming, but now even more so being in the driver's seat, I'm very empathetic to that. Also, just the time and energy that you're dedicating to this thing. That I don't think anyone understands it till you're in the seat. How much energy it really takes from you. Yeah.
Understandable. Understandable. So this is Black August is event number 17 for Ashe,
Crazy,
right?
crazy. Yeah,
17 of them things,
crazy.
man. So what are the first 16 Ashe events taught you that you're bringing into number 17?
How to stay calm in the face of adversity. I'm still slowly learning how to delegate. Not always the best at it, but when you have a vision, sometimes you have to get it established first before people hop
Absolutely.
on. And I'm also just learning. I don't know, man. It's the just writing. I guess getting better at writing. And just learning the difference that you make in people's lives really does affect it. Sometimes it's taught me how to see what silver lining I need to be paying attention to.
Right.
Sometimes I'm paying attention to it and I'm not seeing my own personal silver line, but there's so many silver lines I've made with so many other people that end up resulting in something good. So, sometimes it's that. Yeah.
I got you. So what can you tell us about the matchups coming up August 1st on Black August? I know we've got Darius Carter is defending his title against Yaha, right? Yaya,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Big time, yeah, man. Yeah. The gifted one, Yaya, and Darius Carter finally going 1-on-1 for the ASE Men's Championship. Yaya just won the first ever The World Is Yours 30-man Royal Rumble match at the last event. Incredible, outlasting 29 other people to earn a shot at the ASE Men's Championship. And now he decided to cash in immediately at the next show. Last time we saw Carter and Yaya in the ring, Carter really ran from Yaya. They had a one-on-one match, that they challenged. It was non-title, but Carter took the count out rather than, take the L. So Yaya feels like he can beat him. He says he's the only man he hasn't pinned in Ashe. Let's see what's happening. Immovable object, right? Darius Carter's been almost unstoppable, finding ways to slime out between people, cheating his way to the top, however, finessing, and has made it over 500 days as Ashe Men's champion. So really, we don't know which way this one is going to go. But I'll be watching closely because I'm trying to get back to that championship myself.
I know that's right. I was
Yep.
I was about to ask the question too. The balance between being the creator, the owner, and a performer in Ajay.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? How do you not put the title on yourself immediately?
Because it's so cliche, One thing I hate is being a cliche.
Right.
And one thing I also hate is being, uneven and unfair. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be like that guy who, of course, you put the belt on yourself. Like, you know what I mean? How cliche is it? How boring is it? And
Right.
and I don't think I have that big of an ego. I have an ego. I could be more reinforcing my ego, if anything.
Uh-huh.
But I decided, if this thing is going to really be real and authentic and not come off like a vanity project, then I have to be the ultimate team player. And like, yeah, I could carry it, but there's so many ways that I don't have to because, if anything, like, I'm shined up because I made Ashe. So I don't
Mhm.
really need to be the champ too. You know
Right.
what I mean? So there's so many reasons why I wouldn't do that. But also at the same time, it is interesting to see me chase for it. And
Oh yeah.
I think I would look good with that championship. And people want to see me as a champion. I think people want to see me on top. They want to see that from me. So there's a balance to that.
Hmm.
And it's just understanding the roles and that there's a time and place for everything. And it's not always about me. That's
Right.
really just the ultimate lesson. Yeah.
That is true words of a leader right there, people. Malik, what you got, man?
No, that was it for me. No. Well, hold on. Let me see. Go ahead. Ask him one more question. Let me come up with something else. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
I did
I'm
want to
thinking
ask this.
everything.
So when fans leave Black August on August 1st,
Hmm.
what do you want them to feel and what do you want them telling people who missed out?
Where's the ticket to buy the next one? Where are the tickets to buy the next one? When's the next one gonna be? I want it, and you coming with me. That's what I want. That's the energy I want when you
I
leave
know
Black
that's right.
August. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people wanting tickets at the end of Black August for the next event. I'll say that very much. It's gonna be quite the night, quite the spectacle, and a lot of big moments. A lot of rivalries are coming to a head. A couple of my issues are coming to a head, and you'll
Mhm.
understand what I mean. I think there's some announcements tomorrow that are going to make some people very confirmed in their speculations. But there's a lot of matches that are going to get announced this week because we're closing in on the time.
Right.
So you'll see when you see that rash card exactly what I mean. You're going to be rubbing your hands like this.
Definitely the Birdman hand rub.
Yeah, Birdman hand rub for sure.
I'm looking forward to it, man. So I did want to step back 1 second because you mentioned how D'Lo Brown has worked with Ashe. We've seen Mark Henry in Ashe. Caprice Coleman is what was the
What?
commissioner of Ashe.
Thanks.
A lot of legends in the wrestling game have come through Ashe Wrestling. Is anybody else that you want to see show up at an Ashe show?
Yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty, and there's people that I'm trying to get there. There are there's people who were related to Sandy Parker. I'm still trying to find a way to honor Sandy Parker.
Hmm.
We had Miss Jacqueline Moore make a video for us for the women's tournament. We like to have her there in person.
Right.
There's Miss Sandra. We've been talking to get Miss Sandra in here, who was stylist for WWE for years. We would love to bring her in. So that's been a long time coming. Been talking about that forever. Just honestly, anyone who is paved the way and is a friendly a friendly hand to Ashe. You know, some
Right.
OGs ain't always what you want them to be, but for the
Understood.
ones that are, we would always love to have you here and have you back as many times as you want. That's a long list, brother. You know, we got love for all the people who paved the way for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You think of that, Malik?
Yep, I got you. All
What
right,
you
so
got?
talking about all the legends. You've named Miss Jackie. We've named D'Lo Brown. You've been affiliated with AEW yourself. And is there one? You don't have to name one. You could have a few names if you want to spread the love around. But who's somebody that have walked through the Ashe doors that many people may not know that you might see? And he's going to be one of the greats one day, or she. Sorry about that.
You know,
He or she.
we mentioned the headline. You know, the gifted one, Yaya. I think he's once people see him. I think it's gonna be through the roof, through the roof, through the roof, through the roof.
Absolutely.
Charity King is making her own path, and you
Fire.
know what a organic journey that's been. Just an organic journey that's been, and it's just taken off like just through. I will say. You know, there's Treehouse Lee and Saeed Al Sabah. They were a tag team. It wasn't really working out for them. Now they're breaking up against each other. And to be honest with you, I feel like that this is probably going to be better for their careers. They're probably going to, because once what those guys can do even individually is incredible. So once people really understand Treehouse Lee and Saeed Al Sabah, they're really going to be blown away. The Ugly Gang, Rayon and Teus. I mean,
Shout out to the
names
Ugly
up my whole
Gang.
roster. There isn't anyone I haven't posted. I don't think needs to be platformed on a largest way possible. I think these people are incredible, and I do think they're the now and the future in a lot of different ways.
I agree. Now, we're going to go ahead and close this thing out with one more thing. I need you to complete this sentence for me.
Okay.
You need to attend Black August because
Everything comes to a head.
that says it all right there, man. Darius, I appreciate you, man. Black August goes down August 1st in Charlotte, North Carolina at Piedmont. Make sure y'all pull up. Get your tickets right now. Like you said, the tickets are what, half off, right?
Yep, everything's half off. The tickets front row 25, second row 20, and general admission is $15, only $15 with kids ticket at 10. So it's going to be amazing, and yeah, feel free to come and pack that place out. Let's do it up. It's going to be an awesome night. We're going to have food there. We're going to have music, live music. It's going to be a special day. So please check it out.
Absolutely. Darius,
Hold on. Whoa. Darius, you cool? You brought a thoughtful. We appreciate the interview. You got to run. I cannot let you leave.
Okay.
We need that top 5, brother. Who are your top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time?
Oh man, I don't know.
Got to do it, man. Got to do it.
It's who I think objectively or personally.
You can go with personally is fine. It doesn't have to be objectively. It could be who's the most special to you. Your top 5. We could do that.
Who's most influential to me? You have to go Jeff Hardy. You have to go The Rock. You have to go CM Punk. Influential to me. I want to put a technician in there just because I was very technically I'm just very just into that. But I don't know who to put there. I'm not going to lie to you. Like there's only people who could deserve that spot. You know, I could say Gresham. I could say Nigel McGuinness. I could say Brian Daniels. I could say Doug Williams. That spot is just put someone technical in there. You know. And I think, man, I got to go me.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I like that. We've been waiting for somebody to do that.
Me.
I like that. I like that.
I gotta go me. You know, no, but there's been some greats in this all love. But there's, like I said, I hate that you asked me 5 and gave me like 2 minutes to do it because I'm such an indecisive guy, dude. Like if you ever used to watch people play the wrestling video games and they download people on the game. Dude, my roster used to be like 100-something people because I didn't know how to say no. I loved every wrestler for different reasons. We'd be here all day if you really let me think about it. But it's all love.
Hearing Nigel McGuinness mentioned on your list, respect, much respect.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't hear that enough.
I trained with Nigel McGuinness for a little bit, and that was really fun. He was really really smart man. I learned a lot from him. That even the little bit of time we got to spend together.
That's what's up, man.
Big Michael, man.
Well, Darius, we're not going to take no more of your time, man. Once again, August 1st, Black August goes down with ASE Wrestling. What they say at the shows, ASE, we lit. It's going to be a good time, man. Get your tickets. Darius, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.